Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. This is going to be my review for Episode 9 for this season of Season 9, otherwise entitled It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. And, wow. That's all I can say. Spoiler if you've not watched the episode. What are you doing? Go away if you've not watched the episode. Come back later on. This episode was just what I wanted. It sort of didn't play out exactly how I thought it was. It was a bit surprising in certain areas, especially with certain things that played out. But I leave the episode incredibly happy and just satisfied. That's probably the best word, satisfied. I think this episode did what it needed to do, and it didn't make you go, "Oh, what's next?" and stuff. But it made you go, "I'm happy for what happened and what has been." And the final scene in the episode is, some people might have teared up at certain points. There was probably three parts in the episode where I can understand where people teared up, but it was the final one, because I'm a big thing with music. When music starts to play and it's just nice dialogue and people talking to each other, where it starts to hit you, and that final scene was where it started to hit me. But yeah, let's talk about the episode. But of course, if you watch the episode, you want to leave your thoughts, leave it at the score out of 10. What was your favorite part of the episode? Let me know in the comment section down below. Very curious to hear what people have to say about the episode. If you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed the episode, drop a like on the video to show support. And appreciation for the episode. But yeah, last episode, I mean, it was crap. Who cares? Focus on this one. It was awesome. It was just so well done. This episode was just so well done. Before I actually get into specific moments, I think I could see some people maybe complaining about, Oliver doesn't show up till halfway through the episode. But I think that needed to be the case. You build it up in the reasoning as to why Oliver's showing up and everything like that. It works perfectly. And this is by far the best episode of the season in both, I think, acting, action, writing of the story, dialogue, everything like that. It was just so well done. And to be honest, a lot of things don't live up to the hype. I think this did. If you disagree, please let me know. But I leave this episode so satisfied, as I said before, and I think it lived up to the hype. But maybe I'm in the wrong. I don't think I am, but let me know. But yeah, we start this episode with Chester, Allegra, and Cecile, and obviously, you try not to cause offense, but thankfully, a lot of the side characters on the show do not play a big part in this episode, but they are planning Barry's 30th birthday, which we'd seen in the trailers, we'd seen the balloons and stuff, which is happening again because of the de-aging of last season in the 5th last episode from that doctor, which we assumed was going to be referenced because it was explained last season that Barry had gone back a few years, with the surprise party actually having the return of Wally and Diggle as well. Now, at the party, Barry is actually gifted Oliver's bow by Diggle, which was found in National City post-crisis after Oliver died or was heavily injured and dropped the bow. Obviously, that was the very memorable shot of it going in slow motion and hitting the ground after all those things were coming at him, and that's found, which Barry doesn't feel right accepting and would prefer it go to the Hall of Justice instead. But once again, it's one of those things where Barry's celebrating another year in his life, and really a year in which we went 3 years back. He went 3 years back in life, and Oliver's dead. So Barry's having that thing, which we'll bring up later, sort of like a survivor's guilt sort of thing. Now, we do have this moment where Allegra gets a face-concealing necklace by Chester, though it's destroyed. So I don't know if that just means that Chester's going to have to make something else, or, I don't know, because it's destroyed, whatever. Now, as I said before, we had Diggle and Wally. Now, Wally has a chat with Barry where Wally sort of reveals that he has been looking into alternate timelines in order to sort of, find a better version of himself, or a more advanced version of himself that would be able to assist him in seeking enlightenment. Though Barry thinks there's something off with Wally, but it's the other way around. It's sort of like Barry sort of not showing Wally proper recognition, and that he's sort of kept up with what's going on with Wally. And Wally's like, dude, what do you want about? That's ages ago. So it's like Barry's lack of focus on Wally, but Barry thinks that there's something up with Wally, which I thought that's what was going on. I thought prior to that thing that maybe Wally had already been taken over by Bloodwork, but it's that, Barry actually sort of had, wasn't up to date with what was going on with Wally. But yeah, we do have the drinks being spiked at the toast for Barry, which we see specks of black goo in the glasses, which looked a bit disgusting, with only Wally and Barry not being impacted completely. Iris is Actually, sorry, Chester's not impacted either because he's meant to be sort of like the victim, if you want to call it, within Starlight, being chased by everyone else. But also Iris isn't directly infected because baby Nora and her powers are putting it off. Not completely. Eventually the infection will catch up, but it's just at that, for a while she can still, be in control. But we do have Bloodwork showing up, and it was so good to have Bloodwork come in because, to be honest, I think like Bloodwork's return was sort of being slept on, which you can understand. Oliver's coming back, Wally's coming back. We haven't seen them for a while. But, we saw Wally more recent than Bloodwork. Bloodwork, went away in the first half of season 6. We saw Wally in the back half of season 6, and he, like Sendil Ramamurthy is just so good as Ramsey Rosso, and he killed in this episode once again. I always feel like he was a slept-on villain in season 6, and I think this episode proved that he was so good. In every single scene he was in, he was captivating. Now, Barry is like sort of confident that he won't be affected like he was last time back in season 6, but the thing is, he already is, and Team Flash is under Bloodwork's full control as well, but Barry actually isn't Bloodwork's target this time around. Wally is, and that's spoiler alert, Bloodwork's going to succeed getting through to Wally. And we do have Wally being taken to his childhood home, which isn't the greatest. I can't remember where Wally, it was in Keystone. That's where he was from, I'm pretty sure. Wally was from Keystone, but we hadn't been to his house before. We just knew there was a bit of a troubled upbringing there with his mother. With Bloodwork actually teasing the multiverse at this point, and it being, it actually being there, though Wally shoots that down by referencing Jesse Quick being gone and everything like that. But Bloodwork knows that Wally can sense other realities and worlds and just everything out there, with Bloodwork actually showing his potential and, showing in the multiverse that's out there, and sort of using their mutual grief from the past as a way to get through to Wally and using him for his means. Now, they did what I thought they were going to do in this episode. I was like, they could do some sort of meta thing potentially if they wanted to, and they actually did it. So it was so random when it showed up. I was like, no way I predicted that. And they went full on meta, and they showed the Flash set. They show them walking through the Flash set, even walking into like Barry's like CSI lab, and you tilt up and you see the camera, like the lighting person. They went full on meta. I couldn't believe it. It was like a random prediction. It was like a joke prediction, sort of, but also like they could actually do it at the same time, and they did it. I can't believe it. But straight after this, we do see that Bloodwork has broken through to Wally, despite Barry's best efforts, trying to get through to Wally and trying to break him out of it and save him at the last minute. He can't do it. But here's the big thing. Wally kills Barry. What the hell? I was not expecting that. I was like, when I heard the phasing sound, I was like, oh, this is in a dream. I was like, oh no, he's legit being phased through the heart. He's going to die here. And he did, he died. And I was like, okay, well, this is obviously how he's going to meet Oliver. He's actually going to the afterlife. He's actually died at this point. I couldn't believe it when that happened. It was so crazy. But yeah, Barry does get taken to Lian Yu / Purgatory, whichever way you want to put it, where he is met by Oliver, or the Spectre. Now, Barry brings up that there is no one back there else to stop Barry, not Barry, but Bloodwork, and that his Earth and Central City is in complete danger. But it's not just his Earth, as Oliver reveals, but the entire multiverse, with Oliver revealing the new multiverse to Barry and explaining it, including revealing that Red Death is from this new multiverse, Earth, I think it was 4125 or 4125 to be exact. I think that's what was said. And that if Ramsey is able to get permanent control on Wally, the multiverse is at risk of being taken over. And, that's pretty much already happened, hasn't it? Now, we do get this minor bit with Keone's powers starting to develop further, as she does put all of the Bloodwork controlled party members on pause, like freezes all the water in their body, and is actually able to snap Diggle out of the control as well, which allows Diggle to play a part later on in the episode as well. So, and they also say that Keone's powers are connected to nature and everything. I think Oliver says that later in the episode, but I think next week it's episode 11. I think there's more focus on that, at least based off the descriptions that we've got so far. But back to Wally, he is now Dark Kid Flash. Now, the name Dark Kid Flash comes from the fact that when Barry was controlled, he was known as Dark Flash. So I guess Dark Kid Flash is a suitable name, I guess. Or yeah, we'll just go Dark Kid Flash. And he's able to open a gateway to the multiverse for Bloodwork to infect, which he does commence, but Oliver is able to detect it, and Barry is, desperate to get back and stop it. And he's also begging Oliver to assist in this, which Oliver is happy to do, but Oliver senses a lack of sort of belief that Barry wants to be there, and he can't do that unless Barry is fully committed to going back. And it's because of that survivor's guilt I brought up that Barry is, going through. why did he survive all these years and not all the others that have fallen along the way, with Oliver having a similar journey as well. We've been through Arrow. We've seen all the people that have fallen, by the wayside alongside Oliver. Now, that scene with Grant and Steven was the best of the episode. Like, so good. It was a 10 out of 10. Just even like the music in the background, Grant and Steven, their chemistry and how well they go on together. Perfect. I think that's the best scene of the episode. And it was hilarious when Oliver brought Barry back to life through a punch to the head instead of the boop that was done previously. So that was pretty funny. But it's not just Barry that's back. Oliver is back as well, but he states he can only come back when the multiverse is in danger or at threat. So that makes sense. And we don't have to wait too long for Green Arrow to get back into it. We get that fight scene between him and those possessed like SWAT team members. I think they were SWAT members. I think it said SWAT on the back of their like vests and stuff like that. And that whole action scene stunt team just seemed like something ripped straight out of Arrow. Really, really well done in regards to how they set that up in this episode. Because sometimes when you have the characters, or sorry, knocking my mic, but sorry, when you see like characters like shift from one episode to the other, like the Flash might go to Supergirl or Supergirl might go to this show or whatever it is, especially during the crossovers when their different teams were doing stuff, sometimes it doesn't feel right because they're not used to doing that, with either certain characters or certain powers or just certain setups and choreography and stuff. And they did it so well in this episode with the Arrow thing. Like that stunt scene went for ages and it was really well done. Now we did get a Kid Flash the Flash versus Dark Kid Flash scene, which was, I'd say it was decent, just them running through the city. It wasn't like a standout, but it was still decent. And Barry's able to get Wally into sort of like the bright side of his memories and the more positive things and bring him back, which is a very similar thing to what happened back with Barry in season 6. So Barry sort of just did what happened to him and did it with Wally, and it got Wally back. Now, one of the scenes where I was like, ooh, I'm tearing up here, was the Diggle and Oliver reunion, when Diggle rolls into where Bloodwork is and shoots him with a bazooka, I think it was, or a rocket launcher, and then realizes that Oliver is there. I thought that reunion was nice. Because they only had like 2 scenes together, like 2 one-on-one scenes together, and I hadn't actually even realized it until that point because Diggle's at the beginning and then was sort of possessed. But it was nice to see them have that reunion, especially, and also the scene at the end I thought was really nice as well, which we'll touch upon. But Bloodwork does turn into his monster version, which we'd seen once back in season 6, and this was an improvement over the season 6 version. I thought this one looked a bit better. And Barry and Wally arrive to sort of restrain Bloodwork and allow Oliver to do what he has to do. This including saying, "You have failed this city one final time," which I thought was great, and undo his damage or Bloodwork's damage on the multiverse while also taking his powers away. So Bloodwork is just a normal dude. He's back to being Ramsey Rosso, but of course, he was sick previously. That's why he became Bloodwork, because he was doing all this research to cure himself of his illness. But Oliver takes that away as well. So he's a healthy Ramsey Rosso, but yeah, you're still going to go to prison, so enjoy Argus. Now, we did have that Diggle and Oliver chat about, family and the various updates around them. And, it even comes back to the Green Lantern Cube thing and how it was made to tempt Diggle, and his rejection was the correct choice for him and his family. And I thought this was a nice Diggle and Oliver chat. Even, I think when they were hugging, it looked like Stephen Amell was tearing up and, crying. I'm not too sure if that was Stephen or it was meant to be Oliver doing that, but that scene was really well done as well. I think, as I said, this episode going into it, I thought that those one-on-one or sort of really tight scenes emotionally were going to be the really good ones, and they were. They were the standouts in this episode. But the end scene was the one that made me tear up. I legitimately teared up. I had to take about a 5-minute break before I recorded this review. I was like, hey, do I look like I've been crying? So the end scene, we had Oliver and Barry at the bar at O'Shaughnessy's, O'Shaughnessy's is the best way to put it, with Barry asking about the other Flashes in the multiverse. And I was wondering, are they going to name anyone? But Oliver just says there's more than enough, apparently, more than enough. Now, we have Barry wondering whether he is doing enough, as the Flash and for Central City, with Oliver reassuring him. And I did tear up a bit, if not just properly tear up, when the Arrow music started to seep in and you had that final Barry and Oliver moment ever, not just for the episode, but ever. And it was really well done. It was really well done. I was pretty confident going into this episode. I know this season hasn't been the greatest, especially for a final season. And there's been a lot of people doubting it, which I think is understandable. But I was always confident going into this because there was so much. I don't think Stephen Amell would have done it if he didn't have faith in it. I don't think he would have come back and potentially done anything that would have tarnished anything or whatever it might be. And I think the faith in the episode proved, because I think they nailed it. Like, it's easily the best episode of the season. And of course, we have the final storyline coming up, and the trailer for that next episode looks insane, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But I think they just achieved it. They just achieved so much with this episode in regards to, I think, probably bringing people back to, see out the show for the final 4 episodes after this one. But I think just celebrating the Arrowverse in a way that didn't feel like like in your face. Oh, it's in your face. Look at this, cameos galore. It's sort of getting to the heart of the Arrowverse, which was always Barry and Oliver. Barry and Oliver were always the heart of the Arrowverse, and Diggle in there as well, mixing it in there. I think they just did such a good job, and I'm happy with it. Now, this would be an episode I'll definitely be rewatching in the future. So yeah, so good. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think of this episode? What did you love? Favorite moments, everything like that. Anything of note that I missed, let me know. Yeah, just very curious to hear what you guys had to say about this episode, what you think. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.